Hey friends, today's going to be an impromptu get ready with me. I just filmed the outro of the Merit vs. Salt New York smackdown, if you will, and I was going to film an in-depth tutorial on an eye look, but based on how my vocabulary was and how eloquently I was speaking, we're not going to do that. I want to be more on my A game, and I have been wanting to film this get ready with me, so that, my dear friends, is what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab my skin prep products and we will dive into some topics. All right, going in with my typical skin prep, I'm going to use the Phytosurgeon C Submerge and the Verdant Force Field. So, hi, I feel like we haven't done I feel like we had a week of nothing but more lax get ready with me videos, and this week was like all kind of like prepped reviews or the chronic fatigue video, which let's start there. I was nervous but also had high hopes that the response to that would be positive, but I cannot thank all of you, especially the ones who commented, shared your perspective, story, and thanked me for that. I was like an emotional mess over it because it meant so much to me. I didn't even go into deep details of what I'm going through, and some of the stuff that you guys shared was so powerful, and just the community, everyone feeling like they were brought together a little bit more, is the best and only thing I could ask for coming out of that video. So thank you so much. And for some of the recommendations, I'm absolutely looking into some of those and so excited to do so. So thank you from the very bottom of my heart. I hate that any of us have to go through this. I'll reiterate that, but it's so nice to know that there are people out there who get it, that really get it, and that we're so appreciative. I'm just, I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular person, and it's so nice to connect with you on this. So thank you from the very bottom of my heart. And I needed it this week because, as I mentioned in the Merit video, which is probably going up before this week was a circus. Full stop. Full stop a circus. I'm going to fix my lighting. I think that's a little better. We're rolling with it. I'm going to go in with the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I'm getting pretty low on this, I think. It's hard to see in this bottle, but if I hold it up to the light, maybe? I don't know. We're going to empty this one for sure. Anyway, this week, man, between all of the plans that I made, doctor appointment burnout, that is a thing. I would love to do more kind of chronic illness videos because no one warns you or tells you what doctor appointment burnout is, but it's a real problem. Anyways, we're also I'm all over the place. This is why we didn't do an in-depth tutorial. I'm gonna be playing with some new products I picked up. I have no idea how the look's gonna turn out. We're just playing with makeup, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But back to this week. Doctor burnout, social event burnout. I had a ton of fun, don't get me wrong, and it was like a whole experience to do my nails in the dark with Bethany. I always have such a fun time with her, and that added like a twist to it, so we had a blast. It was also the salon's 4th anniversary, I think, 4th. So I had a mimosa while the lights went out, and I recovered from doctor burnout, and it was kind of nice to have my nail appointment after a doctor's appointment and then my hair appointment after a doctor's appointment, because it was like therapy right after and just like self-care. So I would recommend doing that. Don't do back-to-back doctor's appointments. Do self-care appointments after doctor's appointments. But it was just a whole week, and it ended yesterday night me and my husband went to rival colleges, and they brought back the rival game. It hasn't been played between those two teams in like 10 years, so we went to that, and that is why my voice is extra raspy today. It was so loud where we were yesterday. My husband's voice is in worse shape than mine is, so I'm going to sound raspy and deeper today, and that is why. But I wanted to film this, one, to kind of tinker around with some of these new things, but also because I have so many questions for you guys. I know that sounds so silly, and I don't know if other YouTubers address it this way, but I do want to pick your brain on some things, and unfortunately, I don't have a community tab where I can do that, and I'll be honest, I am like not a good Instagrammer. I don't know. I have always loved Instagram, and back in college, I was on top of it. However, I am not super on top of it anymore, and I want to be, but also I know a lot of you on here don't follow me there, so even if I were to kind of post this discussion on Instagram, I'm still missing a large chunk of you, and I want everyone to participate who wants to participate in these conversations. And I also don't want this to be looked at as like I'm relying on you for video ideas. I have so many video ideas, but I also want to be providing as much help and be a resource for whatever it is that I can be to you. And that's why I have those video forms. So I'm going to talk about those first. Thank you to everyone who has been voting. I just want to put a few things to kind of note about those out here, which is, one, I have a form where you can request any kind of video that you want. It's just free form. I appreciate any of the feedback. I've gotten really sweet feedback through there and helpful feedback. And then the second one is the list of videos that I have prepped and ready to go that you can vote on so that I can prioritize filming. And honestly, the winning one right now is swatching on my phytosurgeons, so I'm going to be doing that this upcoming week. But I think I might add a third one, and it's for fashion-specific Q&As. It's going to be another free-form field, but it's just going to kind of be a landing spot for any fashion questions because I really enjoy filming those videos because I'm not an expert of any stretch of the imagination, but I have a lot of experience in the professional kind of fashion business world, and I think there's a lot of information that I could be helpful with, especially after getting some of the feedback from the last fashion Q&A, and those are so fun for me to film. So I just want kind of a landing spot where I can go and grab your questions regarding fashion. But that's kind of it on the forms, which is a perfect segue. I'm going to grab this eyeshadow palette that I'm excited to play with. So this is not all of the new stuff that I have, but we're going to get into this Jason Wu palette, which I'm excited to talk about and play with. And then I have no idea if all of this is going to go together, but I want to try the butter gloss. I'm on a mission to dupe an old school gloss that I was obsessed with in high school and college. And even back on like the old school blogs, they were saying that this was a dupe for it. In my hands, it's looking much more reddish pink than I need. I almost need more of what this cap color is, but we'll see. This is in Creme Brulee. This one is actually named Creme Brulee. But anyway, we're going to play around with this Jason Wu palette, and I've been wanting to try Jason Wu Beauty, but this palette really spoke to me because it is very different, but also this is a very old Hollywood palette. Very 50s, 60s with this seafoam blue green, and then these really taupe shades and some of these brown shades up here. You could get such a good Marilyn Monroe eye, whether you wanted to do her blue eye or her more sculpted winged look, even a Twiggy look or something, Bridget Bardot. This is a very old school glam palette, so I don't know what direction we're headed again, but I hope that this performs. We might keep it tame just because, again, no idea how this is going to go. Moving on. This is going to be a long one. I hope you're ready for this. I wrote a couple notes down, though, of the questions that I have for you. The first is, let me know if you appreciate the forms. I have gotten some feedback through those forms, and it's very helpful for me, so they will always be linked down below. They will be updated regularly, specifically the video that comes next form. I need better names for these. I'll pop them up on the screen. I'll think about it. But the one where I have the videos prepped and you're just voting on which one next, that will always be regularly updated. So as soon as I film one of those, it's going to be knocked off the list. So just keep that in mind. You can check back regularly. I will remind you of them every so often, but not every video. And then The next few questions I'm really excited to ask. The first one being these get ready with me's. I have gotten feedback from a few of you that you really do like these and they're fun and they feel like you're getting ready with a friend, which that, if you ask me, would be the whole point of these. But I'm curious, do you prefer these to have a theme of like new products, reviewing products? Like, how do you see these being? Like, would you mind if I just was getting ready one day and I had, you know, a random topic I wanted to talk about and we did it? Or do you prefer they have like a theme, like new products, like revisiting products that I need to make a decision on? Let me know down below. I'm so curious. There are people that I follow here on YouTube that I would watch literally them just put makeup on. I do like the format of watching someone put makeup on, kind of talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about, and then at the end they kind of do a roundup. I have done that in the past, and that's kind of what I like to watch, but let me know if that is a good video for you or one that you would enjoy. And then secondly is, with those Get Ready With Me's, I really want to find a naming convention that is unique to me. And while I was thinking about that, it came to me that I want to play in these purples. It occurred to me that my mom always used to say, I need to go put my face on. And that's just like, that's what we called it in my house. Like, let me go put my face on. Ooh, face on, which sounds very Southern almost. But I love it. And that's what I grew up calling it. And I need to figure out how to word that. If you have suggestions, let me know. But I've been playing with that in my mind recently, just trying to figure out like, how do I spin that into a title? Let me know also if anyone in your family called it that or not, and where you're from, because I think it's going to be kind of like a Southern, almost like country-esque thing to say. Me and my friends used to joke, like, we're just country people doing country things, you know? And there are things that I repeat as an adult where I'm like, yeah, we definitely grew up kind of in the country. Not a bad thing at all. Where should we go from here? I'm actually going to put that purple all over the lid. Or like this dusty rose. I love this as a crease shade, but we're going to start building some things up, I think. And I might bring something in for some shimmer. But yeah, let me know. That just cracks me up thinking about it. A little insight into my early days playing with makeup. Moving into, I want to talk about potentially doing a Q&A, not because I think I'm the most interesting person in the whole world. I couldn't be farther from it. But I've gotten a couple of questions recently, just like, where am I from? My accent, which that kills me because, like I mentioned before, I'm from an area that you probably would expect a thicker accent than I have, and there's a whole story behind that. But I want to do a Q&A because I cannot believe this, but just a month ago, I was so excited to hit 100 subscribers, and now we're at like 388 as I'm filming this, which is absolutely insane. For reference, my high school had just about as many people as are subscribed to my channel, and that is wild. That is wild to me, especially, you know, I'm not reviewing brand new products every week. I try to do the ones that I'm interested in like somewhat of a timely manner, but I'm not like, you know, chasing down every new thing, trying to go viral. I'm just recording myself and hoping for the best. And the fact that you're all here, it means so much to me. It blows my mind, like I mentioned. And I just think it would be helpful for the people who are new here to get to know me. But also, I do want to have a video that is the one that I pin up at the top of my channel, just so if someone new comes across my channel and they want to know what I'm about, that I have a video to point them to. And I know for sure that I want to cover the goals that I have in mind for my YouTube channel, because I want to be as transparent with all of you as I possibly can on what it is I'm looking for in YouTube. I will say off the bat that that really is providing a service to makeup lovers and sharing passion about makeup and fashion. So while that includes reviews, it also includes coming up with looks that have inspired me and maybe sharing helpful tips. Not that I'm an expert, but I've been playing with makeup for a very long time. And again, from a fashion standpoint, I've had a lot of professional experience in that world. So that's my overall goal, is to be as helpful as possible and to connect with people as much as possible, because in my day-to-day life, especially the professional world that I live in, it is not geared around beauty and fashion, and I miss it. So I want to build kind of my own little community of a place where I can go and get into the minutia of all things beauty and fashion and know that I'm talking to people who get it. So that's my overall goal, but there are goals that need to happen to make sure that this whole project of mine doesn't become something that feels inauthentic, but also share with you the goals of where I see this going from a monetary perspective, because I have a lot of thoughts around that and I want to be as transparent as possible. So that said, I want to cover those things, so that will be a part of that video, but let me know if you have any questions for me. They could be personal questions, they could be about YouTube, about my career, about my life, whatever they are. I don't even know if this is kind of pompous to request with only this many followers, but I want to get to know you. I want you to get to know me. We've been doing that in the comments, but this would be just a landing spot for anybody who doesn't want to go through and read comments on every video, if that makes sense. So let me know what questions you have down below and I will film that. And thank you in advance. But also, and the last thing that I really want to talk about, I'm doing really light eyes. I really like that as a light eye palette. There's more that I want to play around with, but I don't think today is the day. We are going to smoke this baby out, and I'm going to do that with Pearly from AF94. So, this is all over the place. You truly never know what you're going to get with the Get Ready With Me until you are done filming and you review the footage and you pray for the best. I want to ask you guys about my upload schedule. I know a lot of you who watch consistently know that I'm struggling quite a bit with my health. And after a few doctor's appointments this week, there's more that we need to dive into and figure out. But I know that a lot of this is coming from stress because I'm still only not even a full 3 months in to my new job, and it is a very new team across the board. We're all new, so we're all kind of learning and keeping the lights on as we go, which is a challenge in itself. My team's amazing, but to try to play down the stress that is added into that whole situation itself would be foolish. So it's very stressful, and I was very kind of overzealous thinking that on top of a 40+ hour job that I would now have time to film 3 videos a week and get them up consistently. And as you guys know, if you've been following along, there have been plenty of weeks where I miss that Monday upload, or I miss the Monday upload and then I make up for it throughout the week. So my question out to you guys is, do you prefer your YouTubers to have a very specific schedule and to stick to that? Like, are you logging on when your favorite YouTubers are supposed to post and watching right away? Or do you mind if they don't have a very specific schedule and it's like a nice surprise every time they upload? Or third option is a mixture of both. Like, I could knock down to saying I'm going to always post 1 video a week on Wednesday, or 2 videos Tuesday, Thursday, and then anything else is kind of bonus. Let's test the Essence Bye Bye Panda eyes again. Or do you care at all? Like, I'm just curious. I know that for me personally, throughout my YouTube watching, there are a couple of creators where I am like, yeah, I'm looking as soon as you upload. But I'll be honest, that's very few and far between. And even those YouTubers that I do that for, that's not all the time. Like most of the time, I forget what day of the week it is, you know? So whenever I have free time, that's when I'm opening up YouTube and I'm adding the videos that I want to watch to my watch later playlist. And I'm just watching whenever I have availability to watch. So let me know what your YouTube kind of consumption looks like, because I'm so curious. Yeah, I don't mind this eye look. I am not gonna lie to you, I can't see super well, so don't at me if it's not super blended. I'm gonna go into Gucci bronzer now. I'm like so curious. So let's recap. I'm asking, 1, if the Google Forms are helpful or not. 2, if you mind Get Ready With Me's and what type of format Get Ready With Me's need to be in order for you to find them satisfying. 3, if you have questions that would be good for kind of an intro video, Q&A about me, about my preferences in makeup, my life to this point, my goals here on YouTube, please post those down below. And then finally, my upload schedule. Are you guys going to notice if it's a little bit more erratic? Do you prefer them to be explicit in the time and date? Do you mind surprise bonus videos? All of that, let me know down below. I'm just gonna pop this on. This look doesn't necessarily need it, and I don't have anything on my bottom lash line, but this is a really nice pencil. She's brightened. All right, I think the last thing is to go in with this Victoria Beckham lip liner in 02. She said this is her perfect contour. Now, I do not pretend to think she and I are similar skin tones, but this is looking like a very nice lip contour shade. I'm gonna blend that in. Then we're gonna test this for the first time together. I know that these NYX Butter Glosses have like a cult following. Okay, it looks more sheer on my hand. Okay. Ooh. The smell is like kind of like pineapple upside down cake to me. Anyone else love that type of cake? I do. Oh, yes. This is going to be a really nice dupe for that shade I was talking about. Okay. Ooh, and it feels really nice, and I love building that up. Yeah, this is like the thousands, early thousands look I'm going for. The milky, light pink, almost peachy. Oh, yeah, this with a smoky eye. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. But let's go ahead. I'll run through the products and wrap this up. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, I'm only going to cover the new stuff. Everything that I put on my face will be mentioned down below, so don't worry, I will not steer you astray. This Jason Wu palette is in the shade Flora Matte Suede. Again, I think you could get really cool colors. They kind of seem a little sheer on, this is the first time I've ever played with them, but I think this would be a really nice neutrals palette that has a little something extra to it. We're going to play with this again. We're going to do some old Hollywood looks coming up. I was so inspired by this color story. So I'm happy with that. They blend nicely. The pigmentation is not as stark as like an Anastasia, but at the same time, there is definitely a use case for powders like that. So I really like that. We're going to continue to play with that. The AF94 Cheek Freak Balm. I really like this formula. Do I need a lot more cheek products? No. But I'm going to compare this to the sticks that she came out with for AF94. They're very similar, very similar. These are almost just more nuanced shades and more variety in shades. So we'll do kind of an AF94 versus About Face at some point. Which brings me in to the About Face shadow stick. This is not the first time playing with this. This one was the shade. No, Pearly is the type, so it has a pearl to it. This is why we didn't do a tutorial. This is in Dream Syndicate, and it is like a kind of black with gray, and the shimmer is like silvery blue, but there's a little bit of warmth to it. It's not like a super cool shade. It's a nice shade for smoky looks. Then the Instant Eye Bright from Victoria Beckham. I really like this. It does not on the hand look like it's going to be as brightening as it is. It looks very yellow. Super brightening on the eye. This is definitely going to help if you're like me and you don't like a lot of things under the eye because it kind of narrows the eye and just looks kind of messy. This is just going to help open the eye back up and brighten it up. And then the lip liner, I like it. It's like a really nice contoury color that when you blend and put a light pink gloss on it, this is the look I'm going for. And these are waxy enough that they're going to stick around. I really like these, but they're creamy enough that they go on easy. I really like it. What else did we use that was new? Oh, the Bye Bye Panda eyes. I don't mind this. We're going to do a full recap at some point. I'm still trying to get full thoughts, so I'm happy to test this again. I don't want to get too deep in this, but we will review this. And then finally, I want to say that I have been testing for the past week the Refer eye brushes, and I have a lot of thoughts. We'll go through this. I think I'm going to do a dedicated video to Refer as well as the Katie Jane Hughes, but I'm definitely putting these to the test. They're all crazy dirty. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, those are the new products. Again, everything will be listed down below. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I hope that you're having an amazing week, and I will see you in the next one. Please let me know of all those things that we mentioned down below. I'll include them explicitly in a pinned comment. I know that we covered a lot. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and again, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.